Hey guys, it's Desi here, and today I just want to go over trade recaps for this previous Thursday and Friday we had, and kind of go over what I took, and I'll go over some trades I didn't alert as well. Some ones I took on my personal trades versus alerts, and kind of go over everything and what I was seeing in the market on Thursday and Friday. So just to start off, obviously with Thursday, and we had this nice gap up here on SPY before we're getting rejected at this 403 level. I was actually watching for a possible rejection at open and then a possible move back up off this demand level here, because this was previous consolidation and rejections, and now I've expected this area to actually act as a bounce spot. So I had something like this drawn out and something like this drawn out while I was in the play. This is a small little wedge forming, and I was watching for a move to upside. I actually took calls here. There wasn't a lot of confirmation or anything. However, I did expect this area to bounce because this was previous resistance, and now I wanted it to act as support. And once this pennant was forming, I had a clear stop loss and profit taking level. My profit taking was a break of this channel, and play the percentage off this, or if SPY gets back into that near high day level, that's also my profit target there. Stop loss will be right below this this trend line here, because I believe that if we would have broke down from here, we would have gap filled like we did to the left, or to the right, excuse me. And this is one of the trades that we took, caught some easy longs to the upside, and we closed these trades out for a really nice gain. The next trade came from this downtrend here. All day SPY was trending down, down, down. For about 2 hours at open, we had this little nice downtrend that was respecting really nicely. We had one touch, 2, 3, and then we also bounced from the psych level at 400, so keep that in mind. Usually when psych level, usually when 400 is, near on SPY, it either acts as support resistance depending on where the price is, whether it's above or below. It is a psych number, one of the biggest on SPY, and I expected this area to once again bounce because we did finish that gap fill as well, and that's exactly what we got. So once we got right out of this trend line, I saw this as my chance to take some calls. I took calls right out of the end of this trend line just because I was watching the 5-minute chart. Let me show you guys right here too. This 5-minute chart closed very bullish, and then the 1-minute chart actually broke out of this trend line. So that was my signal to take longs here, and just go into some 0 DTEs with stops, right below that trend line, or this high here at 4017. We caught a really nice move. As you can see, we caught, this is perfect trade for me. I took about, I think it was 70-80% scalp, nothing crazy, but it was, perfect trade for me. And I stopped out at break even on the rest of my contracts when we dipped all the way back down here. So those are those are two trades that I alerted on Thursday. But let me go over another trade that I took, was really nice, and I actually caught, this was actually the biggest gainer of the day, which I didn't alert, but I was kind of guiding people through this trade, and let's go over it right now. So once I noticed your trend line was forming, right, I actually played the downside to this as well. I saw 1 rejection, 2 rejection, 3 rejection, and I saw this area at 402 bouncing, right? So I had something like this drawn out. This area was bouncing, so I drew this, intraday support line. Let me actually delete these so they won't come in the way. Perfect. So I had this bounces, and once we did break the structure here, I watched for a pullback to the EMAs or any possible pattern that's forming within this trend, and we did get a pattern here. We got a very nice bear flag on the 1-minute chart, and to no surprise, price tried to come back up here to retest that 402.2 area. We rejected, and as soon as this broke on this 752 candle, I entered some SPX shorts, and this was a really nice move. I caught about almost $2 on this move in a few minutes, and then SPX contracts were way over 100% at this time. And once again, I knew to scale out most of my profits just because I was in, this 400 psych level was nearing. I would be lying to you if I said, I scaled out every single contract here. No, I actually took some contracts out here as well on my runners because, we were breaking trend and coming back to the upside. So those were the trades that I took on Thursday, and now we could go into Friday. So let me actually mark out where Friday's price action actually started. Right here. Yep, right here. So I'll just drop a little mark so I know. Oops, that wasn't supposed to happen. All right, that's the Friday's price action right there. So I was actually busy in the morning, and I missed this rally to the upside, and I actually got burnt on the first 2 plays. So the first play that I took was at 713, right here. I actually try to take longs up here, which I definitely should have because I didn't even look at the 5-minute chart and how aggressive we were to the downside. Where did I go? Oh yeah, right here. I should have knew based off these candles here that we were actually going to reject, heavily and come back and test this area at 403. Why did I think we were going to test this area at 403? Because if you guys could look back on Thursday, we were rejecting here, and then we were consolidating. We finally broke out, and once we broke out, we needed a retest at this area. I should have been patient taking my longs at this retest area, which I, ended up doing. However, it wasn't the best trade because I did get burnt on this trade towards here. Are the first two trades that I mentioned here. So let me go back to that 713 candle. Let me go back there. 713. I lost the trade here. However, this one wasn't too big of a loss. It was about 14% on 0DTE. Just because we started breaking down, I really didn't like, the price action I was getting. However, I did take a fat loss on this one at 738. So I had this something like this drawn out. Let me show you guys right here. Something like this, and it was something like this, and I longed the bottom of this trend line, and we were actually up pretty nicely. And I was like, okay, this trade, my target would be back to this high day area at 406. However, as you guys can see, we totally broke down from this, from this trend, and we got, I got knifed on SPX. I took about a 40 to 50% loss on my play just because how fast we came down. And this was actually, this is where everyone was kind of like getting like, annoyed. I'm like, yeah, I know we were up. I didn't take profits, and then I got knifed. And I was just sticking to my plan. I told everyone I'm going to go long again. Like, I'm going to go attempt to long this zone once here. Because you guys can see, previous, we're getting rejections. We finally consolidated, broke over. And now waiting for this, area to get touched again for the possible upside. And that's exactly what happened. So, right at 8 o'clock my time. So let's bring in 8 a.m. Right here at 8 a.m. So after I got this, we got this 5-minute close, it looked pretty bullish. I actually entered my SPX con here. I did have to hold for a few minutes to get the move that I wanted just because it was slow. But, like I said, my stop was under this wick here at this 403.5 level. I entered somewhere around here at the bottom of this candle. And we caught a really nice move to upside on SPY that, I was looking for back at like 110, 120%. And also during this time, I was in 0DTE SPY cons as well. So I was in SPX contracts and I was in SPY contracts. I closed my SPX or my SPY contracts because I did alert them as lottos because I wasn't heavily sized in them. I closed those somewhere near here once we approached that 408 level just because that was a daily resistance level. And I secured all my profits on those SPY contracts. And on my SPX contracts, I, sold a little bit early. I think once we got to this area here, I did end up selling. I didn't want to hold those because I was in a heavier position on the SPXs versus the SPY contracts. So for Friday, the A plus setup, I longed about 4 times. I was successful in half of them. One was a very small loss. One was a pretty significant loss. And looking back at it here, I should have just been patient. So I should have just waited all day for this 403. This was my plan the whole time as well. However, I try to, scalp early, and I kind of got burnt on that, and I'll take that because my overall plan and my thesis on the day worked. I was like, we're going to push lower and then push to new highs on the day. And I was targeting that 408 area. And, you ask anyone in the Discord, we actually shorted this right here towards the end of the day. I opened up a swing trade. I was like, I don't think we're going to get above 408 today. And I think we're going to have a pullback going into next week. However, we got a, $2 sell-off towards close. So we closed all of our swings. It was I think it was Thursday or Friday contracts for next week. We closed those for 30%. And we just, no stress, stress-free on the weekend. I don't want to, keep these positions open. I was already up 30, 40%. There's nothing really else I wanted from those swing trades. And, it's always good when a swing turns into a day trade. So, kept it simple. I played the trend breaks. I just played the intraday patterns on the 1 minute, support and resistance when they flip. And that's pretty much it. Kept my trading, this is how I trade. Very simple. And, I know a lot of smart money concept traders are like, oh my God, I can't believe you took those entries versus the bottom tick or at the top. This is what works for me. All right. And everyone trades the same. This is what is my bread and butter. And this is what makes me money in the stock market. And I just want to, kind of tell everyone what I use. And, who knows, maybe someone else prefers this type of trading versus a different type of trading. So that was the educational recap from Thursday and Friday. Remember, like, you could take those two. I took 2 losses to start off Friday morning, but it's all right because First one, we managed our risk very well. Second one, we got knifed. I wasn't the happiest person. I was like, okay, we got knifed, but I still have a game plan and thesis I want to stick to towards the day, and it was longing this 403.5 area, which we were previously rejecting off the day before, the day prior, whatever. So I hope this helped. This was kind of a longer video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.